Happy Memorial Day, HomeCourtEdge family. We are back. It's been a while since we posted the video. We're back in action, as I said before. Got a lot of new content coming you guys' way. So please stay tuned. Thank you for your patience. Please like and subscribe. We're at that lucky 620, 621 right now. Trying to get to that 1,000. So we would love you guys' support. Stay tuned. More videos on the way. Take care.
Leslie is a seasoned veteran, a two-time All-Star MVP, and quite possibly the next WNBA MVP. Jackie Stiles is new to the league this season, an all-around offensive threat. She's the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history and may soon be the next WNBA Rookie of the Year. Tonight, it's the experience versus the energetic as the Sparks battle the fire. Right here, right now, on ESPN. The numbers are oh so impressive for Lisa Leslie this year. All that is missing from her professional resume is a WNBA championship ring. And in her first season, Jackie Stiles has proven that she is indeed, most likely, the Rookie of the Year after being the leading.
All right, Pam, you are correct. The West is terribly confusing, but we're going to clear it up. And one thing's for sure, LA is the #1 seed, and they are coming off a rare win at Utah. Welcome, everyone. Michelle Tafoya, Doris Burke. Great to have you with us. We hope to clarify all these scenarios. And Jackie Stiles of the Portland Fire hopes to clarify for the voters out there why she may be the best candidate for Rookie of the Year. They get their last look at her tonight, the voters, in her final season. She has been something special.
Well, it's rare when a rookie meets lofty expectations. Jackie Stiles has exceeded expectations. She's a fearless competitor, and like she was anticipated to be, she's a threat to score from anywhere on the floor. Shoots an eye-popping 43% from three, attacks the rim with ferocity, and it is a very close race between her and Lauren Jackson for Seattle. We'll see what happens in that Rookie of the Year voting.
It is very close. One race that is not going to be so close, we don't think, is the race for MVP. And Lisa Leslie, maybe more than, maybe compares to year one when Cynthia Cooper ran away with it. Maybe this is the year for someone to run away with it, Lisa Leslie.
Well, hands down the MVP. She's the best player on the best team. Her numbers back that up. In the top 10 in 4 different categories, she has been consistent, and she has been a tough match for defenses. She is the MVP of the WNBA.
She is a 5-year veteran, the league's all-time leading scorer, and on the brink of a championship. And tonight she meets Jackie Stiles, coming off a dream season in college, playing her final game of her rookie season. The MVP favorite and Rookie of the Year candidate face off next.
HomeCourtEdge TV is here for your viewing pleasure. Please click that button as we strive for 1,000 subscribers. Enjoy this video.
The WNBA on ESPN is brought to you by Bud Light, proud supporter of the WNBA. By Buick, official car of the WNBA. Buick, it's all good. By Yahoo Sports, fresh sports news 24 hours a day. And by Nike.
Back in Portland as we take a look at the Fire's starting lineups in the front court. Sophia Witherspoon, Sylvia Crawley, and Kristen Foco, and Jackie Stiles is joined in the back court by Tully Bevilacqua. For Los Angeles, this is probably the starting lineup we'll see them use during the playoffs. Delisha Milton, Lisa Leslie, Mawadi Mabika up front, and in the backcourt, quite a tandem, Tamika Dixon and Yukari Figs. The head coach of the LA Sparks is Michael Cooper, and right now he's with our Leah Bjolson.
All right, thanks a lot, Michelle. Michael, a rare loss for you last night against the Utah Stars. It ends the 18-game winning streak. How does that affect your team?
Well, it obviously stopped something that we had going. Consistency has been our key, but we got to come out and get it all going again tonight.
You have the best record in the WNBA, yet you will be starting the playoffs on the road. Talk about that format.
Well, the format doesn't hurt us one way or the other. We've shown that we can win on the road and as well as at home. So championships are won on the road. We just got to go get one.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Yeah, thank you. Michael Cooper's squad hasn't had much trouble on the road. They really haven't had much trouble anywhere, Doris. 4 losses all season.
Yeah, 16-0, 11-4, all 4 coming on the road. And that 3-game slide in particular at Houston, at Cleveland, and at New York before going on that 18-game win streak.
18-game winning streak, a new league record, and LA opens up the game with possession. Yukari Figs, former Purdue star, and 1999 Final Four MVP, has a pass blocked out of bounds by Tully Bevilacqua.
As Linda Hargrove says, this game is about nothing but pride. I mean, they are in the midst of a 9-game skid and would like to end that streak to end their regular season. Lisa Leslie driving baseline, running into some contact on the way, and Kristen Fogle, one of the top 10 rebounders in the league, comes away with the board. Has some fairly energetic defense for Portland to start, and I'll tell you, against Los Angeles, they're giving up almost 90 points in their 2 losses, so they really must defend a little bit better. Oh, that's what these fans come to see. Jackie Stiles hit from anywhere on the floor, and she opens up the scoring for the Fire. Well, I mean, it's been a pleasure for us to watch through the NCAA tournament on ESPN and now in the WNBA. Jackie Stiles has been exactly what she was built to be. Lisa Leslie, the miss, puts it back herself. 3-2 Portland, slight edge here in the early going, and the 2 stars that people have come to see are where the action is right now. Sylvia Crawley chasing down a rebound, but it goes to Dixon. Yeah, now Jackie Stiles not 100%. She has got some injuries to her wrists, and we'll talk about that a little bit further in depth, so we'll wonder how her shooting will be. The first shot looked pretty pure. Looked to be bothering her there. Look inside to Crawley. Crawley the shot. Little rainbow jumper. Portland indeed is coming out with a little bit of fire in their bellies. As you said, a 9-game losing streak. Tully Bevilacqua addressed the crowd before the game saying, we feel you're the best fans in the league. We're playing the game we love, and you give us the appreciation that we need so much. They'd love to win this for their fans. Yeah, Lisa Leslie is going to win their appreciation with those kinds of plays. 6'5", and just amazing how much her game has grown during the course of the last 12 months. It truly is amazing. She has been an MVP candidate every year she's been in the league, but never before have we seen her game as polished and well-rounded as we've seen it this season. I don't think we've seen her play with this much passion and a sense of purpose before. Certainly the all-star caliber skills are there, but there's a presence about her that hasn't been there in the past. And that may have been instilled by Michael Cooper, a passionate coach himself. Leslie for 3. And the miss winds up in the hands of Tamika Dixon, looking around for help. Yeah, that's the expanded arsenal we were just speaking to, Michelle. Her ability to drain it from 3 and then do this, the polished post game. Polished, but impeded there by Bevilacqua. Finding Stiles. Stiles loves to find her own shot, but she'll dish it as well. Witherspoon the miss. Witherspoon was one of the spoons of the New York Liberty in the first couple of years of the season before she was taken in the expansion draft by Portland. Leslie again from outside the miss. Delisha Milton has the ball and casually turns around and shoots it herself. Kristen Fogle saving it, falling into an appreciative crowd along the baseline. Fast-paced game thus far. Jackie Stiles driving baseline, runs into contact, gets it back. Wow, took a lot of contact. And no call, no whistle, you go the other end. Here comes Milwaukee Beaver. What a sensational player. Terrific in the open floor. Yeah, she's starting to come around offensively, and this is what Los Angeles needs. Her explosiveness, not only getting out in transition there, but her inconsistent shooting has got to get a little bit stronger, I think, in the playoffs. Witherspoon going to the baseline, left side. Lisa Leslie gets a piece of it, saves it inbounds. Biggs will bring it up the floor, takes on Stiles, spins. And now Delisha Milton draws the foul as she attempts the shot. 15:51 to play. First half, already a fast-paced tilt. LA up 1.
ESPN's 2-minute drill.
LA up 1, and there's Jackie Stiles on the floor, a place she's found herself a number of times this season as she has learned And here in the WNBA, the contact is much tougher than it was in college.
One thing that really stands out is how physical the game is. You know, I'm going to have to adjust and change my game a little bit if I'm going to survive very long in this league, just because I take some hits, some pretty hard hits. I like to be aggressive and attack the basket. And I'm going to have to learn to really look for my three more and pull up and shoot off of one dribble, because once you get in the lane, you're going to expect to have some contact.
Well, John Thompson told Allen Iverson he's got to put on 20 pounds because you take such a physical beating in the NBA. Jackie Stiles referencing how physical the WNBA has been. It's a point well taken. There's a couple of things she's got to learn. One, to read screens off the pick and roll. It's something that's got to become an effective tool for her, because right now she's coming off screens to get shots, Michelle. Got to become a better reader of pick and rolls, but women are still at the point where physical contact impedes her ability to make shots, and I think that's an officiating issue where you got to make sure that that's well handled. When somebody takes contact to the rim, that's got to be a call.
And Chancellor has made that assessment himself, that it is tougher for women to score through contact than it is for men in the NBA. And it's just an issue of size. LA up 3, final night of the WNBA regular season, and a lot to be sorted out. Among other things, MVP, Rookie of the Year, but also playoff position. We're going to try to keep you posted of all the goings-on around the league and how it affects standings. We know that Los Angeles has the best record in the league. Even if they were to lose tonight, they would have home court advantage throughout the playoffs. The first time in the history of the league that there isn't at least one team with an opportunity to play their way into the playoffs, Michelle, but still positioning is an issue here. Moati Mabika with the three. And for Portland, they are playing for pride, losers of 9 straight, and Jackie Stiles, certainly a Rookie of the Year candidate. Linda Hargrove believes her young star is Rookie of the Year. But there are others who think Lauren Jackson of Seattle, the other Pacific Northwest team, is the one to vote for. Yeah, the power of television. Think of Jackie Stiles in the great run, ESPN covering her entire way through the NCAA tournament to the Final Four. And Lauren Jackson playing over in Australia, but Lauren Jackson's numbers are impressive. Seattle's made an improvement under her. Sylvia Crawley, Demaya Walker with the score after Latasha Byers blocked Stacey Thomas's shot, and that breaks up an LA run. LA was on a 7-0 run. Mabika, no good, and Latasha Byers getting in there to get the rebound. Lisa Leslie will come back in. Portland also making a substitution. Delisha Milton goes to the bench for Leslie.
But it's good to see Mabika so aggressive. An all-star last year, struggled early. A lot of Mabika suffered through some injuries early this season, but a strong performance last night in a loss against Utah in overtime. And they need her scoring to show if they're going to win a WNBA championship.
Alyssa Burris in for Kristen Fogle on the Portland side of those subs. Tamika Dixon making the All-Star squad this year. Loses it to Stacey Thomas, but there is a foul on the play. Sally Bell, Gary Zielinski, and Benita Spence, the officials at tonight's game.
I'll tell you this, Linda Hargrove has consistently praised her defense all season long. It's been the offense that has been the struggle for this team. And you mentioned Demaya Walker a moment ago, and that was an injury that really impacted this ball club. Demaya, a solid athlete, somebody who gives them solid post defense and improving as an offensive player.
Another rookie, Carolyn Young, coming in for Jackie Stiles. Doris, you mentioned that Jackie's a little bit banged up. And that may be why she gets the early rest. Nikki McCrimmon creates the steal for LA. Lisa Leslie can't hang on, and there's a foul that comes after the steal.
Yeah, Stacey Thomas, last year's draft choice for this team. That's 2 steals, and that's exactly why Linda Hargrove drafted Stacey Thomas out of Michigan a year ago, for her defensive prowess. Just a tremendous athlete, great hands. Somebody that certainly, as her offensive polish comes around, she's got to shoot the jumper with consistency, but she can be a player in this league, Stacey Thomas.
Lisa Leslie called for her first foul. Carolyn Young almost turns it over, but Burris hangs on, sees a lane, works it and makes it pay.
Yeah, another player's missed some games with injury, but at 18 points in 14 minutes in their last outing against Sacramento. Burris is just a big body inside. A good counter to Latasha Byers. Yeah, no question. Mawadi Mabika, terrific at creating her own shots. There she creates a three. Boy, timely. Michael Cooper saying that this team can get better, which has been his thinking over the course of the last 3 weeks. There's why Mabika can get better. Bevilacqua off the mark. Oh, and you see a little bit of temper there by Demaya Walker. This might be an elbow and a technical foul on Lisa Leslie. Gary Zielinski. Remember, the rule in the WNBA is if there's an elbow thrown, it does not have to make contact, folks. If there's a little elbow, she just extends it and keeps it up. It almost looks like she's trying to fend her off. Michael Cooper objects. Take one more look at this, because you'll see Walker come after Leslie hard on this rebound. Yeah, now the angle at which an official sees something is often why he'll call it. Now Lisa objects to the hard foul from behind. Here's what's happened now. They've called the foul on Demaya Walker and given a technical to Lisa Leslie. The crowd showing its appreciation to these officials for the tee. Fans seem to love it when the Stars get rung up. And another foul called underneath. And we check in now with Bristol and Pam Ward.
Thanks, Michelle. We're keeping a close eye on a couple of games. Charlotte winning in Miami. Dawn Staley going to find Allison Feaster, the former Harvard star, taking it into the hoop. Miami needs to win to secure the #2 spot in the East. If Miami loses and New York wins, they're #2, but New York is losing to the Mystics. We'll keep you up to date on that, Michelle.
Pam, thank you. Out here on the West, keeping an eye on those Eastern Conference scores. And really the only maneuvering going on there is between those two teams, Miami and New York. And don't underestimate the pressure is impacting performance in those two games. There's so much at stake. The Miami-New York series, most times it is dictated by who is the home team. Get a look here at the East standings. Cleveland has run away with the Eastern Conference title, but you look at Miami and New York tied up at 20 and 11. Miami owns the tiebreak there, so even if they both won, Miami would move on in second. New York would not have home court advantage in that series. Charlotte will take on Cleveland. How about Charlotte? Now remember the 1-10 start that Ann Donovan's team. They have engineered the best single season turnaround in WNBA history. And for the first time in the Eastern Conference, 3 teams get over 20 wins. And I mentioned that, Michelle, because I think there's a tendency for people to think the West has got the best opportunity at the title. And certainly with Miami, Cleveland, and New York, you've got legitimate contenders out of the East. Improvement across the board in these teams' records. Nikki McCrimmon finds herself all alone for the easy lay-in, and Mawadi Mabika was there to make sure it went. Yeah, job one against Los Angeles. You've got to make this team play in a half court. Although they are proficient there, they are explosive when they get out and run. This has been a fast-paced game. 11:42 to go first half. 16-10 LA with a 6-point margin. Looking not only to redeem themselves for their rare loss against Utah last night, but also to be playing at their peak as they head into the playoffs. Carolyn Young, the 3. Now remember, Young was acquired in place of Tari Phillips, and that exchange did not look great when it was first made. Obviously, Tari, an all-star now for New York. It's really a matter of time for Carolyn Young to perform. She's had some injuries. She missed a season due to pregnancy. She will come around. 9 on the shot clock. Mabika is fouled by Carolyn Young. LA hanging on to a 3-point lead, being really pushed here by an 11-20 Portland team.
Welcome back, everyone. The Sparks are on top of the fire by 3. So now you wonder what Jackie Stiles likes to do with her free time. Well, she plays basketball, of course. In her off days, Jackie Stiles competed in a game, of course, with David Moreno. Now, David Moreno won the opportunity to play with Jackie with a bid of $2,235 in an auction from the Sears Breast Health auction. Now, as you can see, Jackie had to pull out some of her better moves right here. And of course, the rookie phenom won the game. Michelle, Doris, would you dare to take Jackie Stiles on in a game of horse?
Never. Never. Not if I expected to beat her. I have no chance. Doris, you played at Providence. You have a chance. Right? Paid a hefty fee for that privilege of getting absolutely spanked in a game of horse. And Jackie did not practice yesterday. She has got tendonitis in the right wrist, a swollen left wrist, among a host of injuries that she has endured. But you watch her on the sideline. Look at her knees. They're shaking. She's constant movement, even when she's on the bench. Constant motion. She's got that 1 3-pointer, has only played 6 minutes tonight, resting some of those injuries. You know she'd prefer to be out there playing. She'd play through anything to play in the game, to be in the game, to be in front of the fans, but mostly to just be playing with her teammates. And it is the final game of the season for her and her team, so it's probably killing her to be sitting on that sideline. Yeah, it's going to be a while. We'll see if she goes overseas in the offseason, but they could use her right now. LA going into that 2-3 zone that they often mix in with their man-to-man, Michelle, the last couple sets. We'll see if they do it again here. Look at Carolyn Young coming up with the steal. Portland playing with a lot of energy tonight. Great energy, a sense of pride, defensively very strong, chasing after loose balls. Yeah, you'd never know this is a team that has 11 wins in a year, Michelle, and really nothing at stake here other than trying to snap a skid. Rhonda Mapp takes it away on the entry pass to Crawley. Mapp, another veteran with playoff experience when she was with Charlotte, played in 2 different seasons of postseason games. There's Mabika, loves that spot from the floor. Just no trouble for her. If you're a team around the league watching Los Angeles at this point, to see Mabika start to shoot the basketball like she's capable, you're shaking your head because this team leads the league in scoring, and that's with her really underperforming through most of the year because of the injuries. She's got 3 threes so far, and once again, LA in the open floor, McCrimmon the miss. Figgs taps it out of bounds. It's Portland ball, but Portland continuing to put that aggressiveness on LA. Yeah, I mean, you've talked about the energy. Watch them go ahead and contest shots and go ahead and gather rebounds. Tuli Bevilacqua comes down, gives assistance on the post, and then you've got everybody scrapping, hustling for loose basketballs. They've certainly been physical, setting the tone, but they're not ready to back away from what looks to be the leading team for a WNBA championship. Now, people said it last year about Los Angeles, and then they ran into a buzzsaw called Houston in the playoffs. That was a full-strength Houston team. Houston has not looked as strong in the second half of the season this year. And certainly LA remembers that feeling very keenly of getting absolutely trounced by Houston in the playoffs and knocked out before they were ready. Yeah, the question seems to be, does the experience they endured last season translate to better performance in the clutch games this season? I predict it will. And they are so talent laden and have done everything to improve themselves. Boy, Portland is really just playing with so much electricity. Witherspoon chasing down that ball and then hitting the wide open 3. Yeah, you look at the loose balls, and right now it seems like Portland is getting to every one of them. And you know, this is a wonderful tribute to the fans here at the Rose Garden. I don't think they expected to get this much of a treat from this team. Finally, Nikki McCrimmon slows down the up and down pace of this game just a little bit. 4-point lead for Los Angeles. And there's your leading MVP candidate. So desperate to win a ring is Lisa Leslie. Yeah, Portland doesn't care that LA has got 27 wins. They're trying to prevent 28. They're playing with great energy, and Sophia Witherspoon gets the steal on one end, turns it to the other direction. They are in a ball game.
I'm a sophomore guard at the University of Pennsylvania. Been training with HomeCourtEdge for almost 10 years now. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us on all of HC's social media channels, and stay tuned for our journey.
So much to ponder and so much to see. Thursday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2, the WNBA 2001 playoff preview. Then Thursday at 8 and 10 Eastern, Game 1 of the East and Western Conference Round 1. And Friday at 7 and 9, the other Round 1s of East and West will be played on ESPN.
The least talked about of the 8 teams in the playoffs is Charlotte. And folks, this is a team that has ridden a 12-game streak where an opponent has not scored 60 points. They are putting a hurting on Miami, an abysmal shooting percentage for the Solar. Do not underestimate Charlotte. They beat Cleveland twice in the regular season.
And that is right there an important statement. Cleveland the best team in the East. Charlotte may have their number. 20-16. Still just a 4-point lead here from Los Angeles, coming off of that overtime loss in Utah last night, 80-78. At the hands of the Stars, who they could very well meet, Doris, in round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting match, and they're continuing with this 2-free zone. There are some wrinkles that Los Angeles has shown this season that they've not pulled out. They played a boxing one against Minnesota on Katie Smith. And Michael Cooper said, well, I haven't used my full bag of tricks yet. It'll be interesting to see what he pulls out.
Tamika Dixon losing that one. Here comes Jackie Stiles, 1 of 5 from the floor so far tonight. She has played sparingly and again runs into that physical contact where Tasha Byers called for the foul. That's 2 on Byers.
Well, she told us earlier she loves to attack the rim, and you and I were talking, Michelle, the word you used for Jackie Stiles was fearless, and you're exactly right. This is a young lady who does not fear situations, shots. She just plays the game with a passion.
There are players who have said to us that when they find themselves so wide open for shots, even the easiest high percentage shots, sometimes they almost panic. Think, I have to make this. Particularly the younger players in this league who are still a little bit in awe of playing professionally here in the States and playing around some of the greats that they idolized growing up. 6:26 to go, first half. Portland and Los Angeles here at the Rose Garden.
This is the rookie class, Michelle, you make a good point. This rookie class is the first class that had the WNBA to look to. And so these players have been watching this league for a long time,
hoping and dreaming they could be part of it. A whistle and a foul called on Mawadi Mabika. And that's 2 on the 24-year-old out of Kinshasa, Congo. I am surprised that this is a 4-point game. Leslie up for the rebound. 4th rebound of the game for the MVP candidate who leads the league in so many categories, or rather is in the top 5 in some of the statistical categories: scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage. Another steal for Carolyn Young, who's making her presence felt in this game. Stiles kicking out to Bevilacqua. I am tremendously impressed not only with Carolyn Young, but the entire offensive presence of this Portland team.
I'll tell you this, Carolyn Jones-Young is checking Milton, giving up some size. And she made a great defensive play, so it's only apropos that she get the bucket on the opposite end.
Young has 6 points. Here's Lisa Leslie, just up the top of the key.
You see Kristen Fogler, she's used to guarding pure posts, and Lisa's ability to step away from the face-up now really is a challenge to defenders to come out and guard her.
And that is a great catch and turnaround shoot by Kristen Fogel. She lost her starting job earlier in the season and has won it back with play like that. And her rebounding, one of the league's leaders, averaging almost 8 a game. She's got 5 here tonight.
You know you can count on her for rebounding. As her offensive game comes around, look out.
Surprisingly, she hits 45% from 3. Now, she hasn't taken a lot of them, but she can make them.
Oh, great pass by Yukari Figs. And job 1 again with Los Angeles. You've got to stop the point guard early, because Figs, Dixon, Mabika, those players are averaging almost 12 to the 18 assists. They do a great job finding people. Biggs and Dixon, numbers 7 and 8, respectively, in the league in assists. Burris, rebounded by Leslie. And a bounce pass into Milton, draws a foul, and that's number 2 on Carolyn Young. As some substitutions come in, Demaya Walker back in the game along with Nikki McCrimmon.
Yeah, that's a matchup that's got to pay off because Young is giving up too much size to Milton, and Milton's been posting hard. Los Angeles hasn't gotten her the basketball.
Delisha Milton at the line as a 78% free throw shooter. Now, WNBA.com's playoff section will launch Wednesday morning, including series previews by our very own Doris Burke. Log on and check it out. You're going to be very busy this week.
Michael Cooper, his thoughts are turning to Thursday, I'm sure, after this 40 is finished. He has been anxious. He boldly stated they are the team to beat for this championship.
He has also stated we can be better.
Kristen Folco, terrific ball movement being exhibited here tonight by the Portland Fire. I've never seen this team play this well.
26-22, a 4-point difference, and Jackie Stiles. Will she be Rookie of the Year? Remember, Lauren Jackson is out there as well. We'll compare them when we come back.
Michelle, points are even up. The percentage on the bottom 3-point, Jackie is amazing. Rebounds, the edge goes to Jackson. You normally think Stiles is the younger of the two coming out of college, but Jackson is just 20 years of age, and Stiles now 22. And I mean, that is as close a race. It's happened in the past where in the NBA, you've had co-rookies of the year. This is a very close race.
And it makes you wonder if we'll have that kind of a first here in the WNBA because it is so close. McCrimmon hitting from baseline. But think, in the year 2000, Elton Brand and Steve Francis shared the award in the NBA. Back in 95, it was Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. And even in 71, Jeff Petrie and Dave Cowens split the tie there. And if there ever were going to be a year, this would certainly be the one.
No question.
Great steal by Bevilacqua. Just anticipating the pass and getting right in front of it. Just over 3 minutes to play first half. And this has been a very entertaining up-tempo ball game with a lot of that. A lot of three-point shooting by Portland. That one courtesy Sophia Witherspoon.
Well, they continue to turn LA over and get points off. That's 15 points off LA's turnovers.
Portland 4 of 11 from 3. Then you can expect to see that from Milwaukee Mabika. Lisa Leslie missing on the drive.
They get her a lot of isolation looks on the right side of the floor, both from the wing and the elbow, and she makes excellent use of it.
Demaya Walker, as you mentioned, missed a good chunk of the season with injury, but back and playing well.
This one really comes down to who wants it more. Los Angeles doesn't need it. It really needs very little other than 5 for Portland, so whoever desires it is going to get it.
I think Michael Cooper is going to give an inspired halftime speech. We know what he's capable of.
We've talked all night about exactly how hard defensively Portland has played. Toli Bevilacqua, the anticipation on the outlet pass, and Witherspoon against the 2-3 zone finds the gap and drains it.
That's the kind of thing that Michael Cooper's going to say. We can't allow that. If you're giving that up to a Portland team who's lost 9 straight, and is 11 of 20 overall, one of the worst teams in the league, what are you going to do in the playoffs? He wants his team playing at its peak. Again, they are coming off that loss last night, played extra minutes. This is an early game. This is an early start for a WNBA game. 5 on the West Coast. So LA hasn't had a lot of time to recover.
They haven't, Michelle. 3 of their starters played 40 or more minutes, and all 5 played at least 39. So point well taken.
McCrimmon throwing the pass to Delisha Milton, who did not get to her spot in time. And it's another turnover. That's the 10th on the Sparks. Coming up on the American General Sports Center in-game halftime report, Pam Moore will talk about all the playoff positioning that we're mentioning. And Van Chancellor will visit. She'll get a chance to talk to him as well. That pride will be an important part of the discussion at half for Los Angeles. Another three by Sophia Witherspoon. She's got 3 3-pointers in this game. She is on fire, no pun intended. Van Chancellor watching the developments, and perhaps his game against Phoenix, the most telltale of the night. That one with huge implications for the Western Conference standings. Latasha Byers calls for foul number 3, and that's kind of her MO. She comes into the game, but she gets into foul trouble generally in the first half. This is nothing new. She'll take a seat, and Yukari Fitz will come back in. Pretty nice sized crowd here tonight for this final regular season game, and they're excited by what they're seeing. Demaya Walker almost stripped and then turns it over on the pass to Crawley. Well, some credit to the Los Angeles defense in that situation. They tighten the reins. Tie ball game, and how excited is Portland? Lisa Leslie tries to get the lead back, but Crawley has the rebound. Leslie is 3 of 10 from the floor. Witherspoon finds Stiles. We're under a minute to play here in the first half. Well, this 2-3 zone, is he pleased with what he's seeing, or is he resting legs, or is he trying to work out kinks for the playoffs? You wonder what Michael Cooper's thought process is. A great point. It was about 4 on the shot clock. Portland turns it over. McBeacon and McCrimmon sees a wide open Figgs on the other side of the floor. Milton now running into Walker. Demaya Walker taking the charge and bringing this crowd to its feet. I think they missed Demaya Walker during the course of the season. Fiery, defensive-minded, makes plays. Second foul on Milton. A tie ball game with 20.7 to go. Los Angeles, a 27-4 team, probably didn't expect this kind of challenge tonight. 11 games due to injury, but her impact is felt tonight. Gets in front of Delisha Milton, takes the charge, and the energy and enthusiasm has been there all night. She says, thank you very much. I'm not sure who she's thanking, the crowd or the officials. But you know what? She should thank the officials. That one was close. Didn't appear to have her feet set and in position. Regardless, Portland has rallied from a 7-point deficit and tied the best team in the league at 30 apiece. Tully Bevilacqua, shot clock is off. Bevilacqua bringing it up the floor for Portland. And 10 seconds to go, first half. Witherspoon has had the hot hand, certainly. Well guarded by Figgs. Tries to launch one, and it's an air ball, but Sophia Witherspoon was hot from outside the arc, Doris. Well, a career 30% three-point shooter, but she had it going on in the first half. Tracks down a loose ball, squares and fires. Gets in between the gap and the zone 2 times and drains it for 3. She was sensational. 9 points in the last 8 minutes, and she is with Leah Bielsa.
All right, thanks a lot, Michelle. Great game for you so far. Your team's hanging in there with LA. Where's it coming from?
Well, just a lot of energy. This is our last game of the season. We don't have anything to lose. We have a great fan support here tonight, and we just want to come out and just play for ourselves and for our fans.
What do you have to do in the second half to finish it off?
Be stronger than we are in the first half. Don't let them get off on the offensive end, so we got to play great defense and be ready for them.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you. Michelle?
Tie ball game, Leah. 30 apiece, LA and Portland. We now join Pam Ward for the American General Sports Center in-game halftime report. Pam?
HomeCourtEdge TV is here for your viewing pleasure. Please click that button as we strive for 1,000 subscribers. Enjoy this video.
Welcome back, everyone. Michelle Tafoya, Doris Burke, great to have you along with us for a game that has been surprisingly up-tempo, energetic. The fans here are going wild, and so is this Portland team. Well, Los Angeles comes in averaging only 13 turnovers, but Portland forced them into 11 in the first half by virtue of their aggressive defense. Portland has been hustling all night long. It's like they're playing with a sense of urgency themselves. wanting to give the fans back something for the season.
No, they're nice and relaxed, and they've been enthusiastic. And on the defensive side, this is a team that came in averaging almost 90 points a game against them. So they buckle down on defense. They start making hustle plays. Everybody's getting out into the passing lanes, turning it into offense. And it's the kind of effort you needed against a Los Angeles team that could put pressure on you by scoring points.
Portland averages almost 8 steals a game. They've got 7 already here in the first half. So Portland playing aggressive basketball, and LA a little bit on their heels, and they changed their starting 5 just a little bit. Gergen Fonseca in the starting lineup here to open up the second half for LA. I mentioned earlier that you can always count on Michael Cooper to have really tried to inspire his team in the locker room. We have heard him speak to them in game, before games. And he is a guy with a track record in the NBA, obviously. Defensive player of the year in '87, a 5-time all-defensive team member, 5 titles with the Lakers. He knows what it takes to win, and that's what he's trying to instill in his team.
Yeah, the first thing he instilled was his defensive philosophy and the fact that the Sparks, up until he started to become a part of this organization, really never achieved on that end of the floor. They have certainly, under him, been one of the best defenses in the league.
Just the second miss of the night from Wadi Mabika. Sophia Witherspoon hasn't missed many, but she opens up with one that is off the mark, but Stiles has it, finds herself in the middle, air ball, and they'll say last touch by Portland.
Stiles has struggled. That is just 1 of 6 on her evening. You can see the comparison of the 2 players we highlighted to start this show. 6 and 6 points, rebounds for Leslie, but neither player really shooting the ball well at all. I mentioned that Stiles is banged up, both wrists hurting, also a groin injury. Lisa Leslie probably exhausted from the Utah game and the lack of rest between that overtime loss last night and tonight. Jackie Stiles does many things very well, and one of them is getting to the free throw line. One of the things that she has is explosion with the basketball in her hands. Watch how far she pushes the ball out in front. That enables her to get by defenders and takes the contact. This is a young woman who does so many things well, but there are not a lot of players who can get a shot for themselves anytime they want. Jackie is one of those players.
These are only the second and third free throw attempts for Portland tonight. Stiles, a 78% free throw shooter. Tied for first among rookies in scoring with who else but Lauren Jackson. That is what's made this race so interesting. Jackson led the scoring between rookies earlier. And then Stiles took over, and now it's dead even. Gergen Fonseca, the miss. So LA still stumbling out of the gate just a little bit here in the second half.
Tamika Dixon only played 9 minutes of the first half, only took 1 shot. Now, that's your second leading scorer. Now starts the second half on the bench. Gergen Fonseca misses the chippy. There's Michael Cooper go back with Dixon.
8 on the shot clock. Fulton with Crawley. And Lisa Leslie the rebound. 7 boards for Leslie here in this game. LA moving it around. Great look inside to Milton, but she is blocked immediately. Devin Lockwood of Stiles. And now Portland moving it around again. Witherspoon red hot down the stretch of the first half. Looking for another 3. It's off the mark.
LA in the man-to-man that time, and they will switch perimeter screens. Guard to guard, you'll see LA pass offensive players, and you get good switches.
Another focal block, and now Lisa Leslie draws the foul. And we check in Bristol with Pam Moore.
Thanks, Michelle. It is all over in Miami. Charlotte wins it 48-41. Dawn Staley to Charlotte Smith. Charlotte hit a big 3 in the NCAAs a few years back. She nails that. So right now, New York, if they win over Washington, they will get home court in their first round series against Miami. Lids up by 3. Second half just underway, Michelle.
That is big news. take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. So if New York were to win, they'd have the better record. If they lose, both New York and Miami are 20-12, and Miami owns the tiebreak. If New York gets wind of this news in the middle of that game against Washington, their intensity is sure to rise.
And I guarantee the crowd reacted when that went up on the Jumbotron. There's no question that New York is aware of what's gone on. And Charlotte, how about their defense? Everybody's talking about Cleveland's defense. They hold Miami to 41 points. Charlotte is playing on that side of the ball. Tully Bevilacqua, a three-pointer, and her teammates love it. I think this Portland bench is having as good a time as the team on the floor. Meanwhile, Michael Cooper's got to be asking himself, are we simply tired, and can we afford to use that as an excuse? Lisa Leslie finally getting another field goal.
Well, if you want an MVP award, those are the kinds of shots you make. We'll see if Lisa takes over here and tries to exert her will and get her team back in the lead. Certainly all season long, she's been there in the big games. Outside of the exception of that Houston game early in the season, which you and I are privileged to watch, Van Chancellor's team getting a momentary shot at revenge in that win. What a playoff contest that would be, LA and Houston. No question about it. So much there. The rivalry has grown from day one of this league. Leslie now with 2 fouls. And Mavika tries to steal that one away. She touches it last. There are 12 seconds on the shot clock for Portland. Bevilacqua, when she goes to the rim on dribble penetration, her thought processes is always pass, and I think LA understanding that they're making the right reactions. Stiles out to Bevilacqua. Another three-pointer. She drained her other attempt in the second half. Lisa Leslie the rebound. 8-9 now for number 9. Wow, they're going to call an offensive foul on Gergens and Sega trying to get position on Tully Bevilacqua. Tully obviously giving up several inches in the post, and look at the hustle now. This is what Carolyn Jones-Young did in the first half, trying to fight for position, and they call the forearm, and then has to make sure that, is there a tooth loose? The mouthpiece need readjusting. Bevilacqua turned 29 a couple of weeks ago. She's just 5'6", so playing there in the post, she is challenged in many ways. Folco, the turnaround baseline jumper. Kristen Folco, one of the best athletes ever to grace the Stanford campus. Volleyball great. Won multiple national championships in volleyball. Went to the Final Four. She was a great high school athlete. I mean, she has really done it all. In addition to being a great student. And now it's traveling call against LA. Wow, it looked like a pretty solid move. 37-34. LA had led by 4 most of the first. Now they trail by 3. Fan, she wouldn't be able to look, but she's a Portland fan. She ought to be watching this one with wide open eyes. ESPN's preseason NFL coverage continues on Thursday. Ooh, do the Giants have another Super Bowl run in them? You would love that. Oh, no question about it. It's so early, and you know there are certain teams out there with more talent than others, but what's most amazing is that it's already time for the NFL, that we're in the preseason and ticking down the days to both the NFL and college football. Sylvia Crawley, nice smooth shot to increase this Portland lead. Witherspoon, just her ability to create shots for other people. Where she drains a jumper in the first half, you take a step closer, she goes by, and then you got to start to wonder, where does she find people? Another whistle and a foul, and we check in with Leah B. Olson.
All right, thanks a lot, Michelle. Well, I was in the huddle of the LA Sparks last time out, and it was remarkably calm. Cooper was talking to each player individually. He wasn't yelling. He gave instructions to each player how he wanted them to run the play, and it was almost like he knows he's going to win this game. I'm not going to yell. Just a very cool and calm person. Michelle?
That's interesting, Leah, because we have seen him fiery. We have seen him get in the faces of his players and say, you have got to put teams away. You're better than this. Right now, Portland up 3. 5 has been their biggest lead. Focal, a great look to Bevilacqua. She decides against the shot. 6 on the shot clock for Witherspoon. Off the side of the backboard. This will go to L.A. Better defense by Los Angeles. They're cutting off through penetration, forcing an errant pass. L.A. had that league best 18-game winning streak. Remarkable. And it was broken last night in overtime at Utah. What kind of momentum does something like that give a Utah team in their last regular season game? Well, obviously a monumental confidence builder if nothing else. A possible playoff day with Michael Cooper and Sparks, and you prove to yourself that you can beat them. I think if you're Michael, you certainly don't want to end on a 2-game losing skid, but he certainly doesn't look, as Leah said, very agitated over the current situation. Not at the moment. Stacey Thomas into the game for Bevilacqua. Turnaround by Leslie Mosley. Scrubbing from the field. And a whistle and a foul called on Kristen Focal as Latasha Byers goes down hard. Good little extracurricular activity underneath the rim. Focal enjoying herself. As you said, a tremendous athlete like Natalie Williams at UCLA during her time. You see a technical foul called on Kristen. Kristen, one of those All-Americans, basketball, volleyball, a rare talent. 3 national volleyball championships at Stanford. And a 4-time All-American volleyball player. But what was she doing here? Well, watch your lower left corner. It's going to be right here with Focal and Byers. What do we have going on? Good shot. Get out of the way. That's great. I haven't seen that much in either sport. More so in basketball, certainly when they're on the same side of the floor. Back to the 2-3 zone they go. They've given this a significant time tonight. Stacey Thomas the miss, Delisha Milton the rebound. 13-18 to play here in Portland. Final regular season game for both of these teams. Portland is not going to the playoffs. Los Angeles is. But what a season for LA. They start 9-0, and then they lose 3 straight. And it looked for a while, a long while there, like those would be the only 3 games they lost until last night. Their 18-game winning streak ends in the hands of the Utah Stars, who are also playoff bound. But not since those 3 previous losses have they lost consecutive games. They haven't lost any games. So this is an unusual spot. Natasha Byers, the field goal percentage leader in the league, makes the Evie. She's got 6 points. Well, there's certainly poise on the LA Sparks. There is no panic from the top down. No backing away, however, from the Portland Fire. And he's upset, as well he should be. That's the 3rd time tonight where she's found the gap with between the guard and the forward in that 2-3 zone. And that's just a simple communication problem between your guard and your forward. A dozen points for Witherspoon, all from behind the arc. Look at Leslie drawing contact on her way to the basket, and now a foul called. Witherspoon is lobbying the referee, as is Leslie. Foul is called on Leslie, and it's her 3rd. Wow, I thought it was a little contact, but she went to the rim and just skids up. Leslie 4 of 15 from the field, 3 fouls now. Portland up 3, courtesy that Sophia Witherspoon play. Here's Witherspoon again. Misses that three-pointer, and Stacey Thomas chases down the rebound, and it's been offensive rebounds and turnovers and steals that have really propelled this Portland team. Now LA coming up with the steal. Mabika fouled on her way to the basket. 42-39. Mabika draws the foul. LA still trying to come back and avoid back and on. And I'm telling you, Michelle, do not underestimate Charlotte, as Cleveland now has lost 3 straight. You are talking about a Charlotte team that has won 17 of their last 21. And the difference, according to Ann Donovan, is their commitment to the defensive side of the ball. They've been sensational. And a lot of teams have found that out the hard way. Owadi Mabika coming back again, driving the open floor. And an offensive foul called on the move. Let's check in with Leah Biolta.
Michelle, thank you very much. Well, if you've been wondering where Tamika Dixon is, she only had played 9 minutes in the entire game. She aggravated her plantar fasciitis. Now, she has had that injury. She sat out a couple of games, the game against Portland, game against Minnesota on July 28th, and so now they're having her sit on the bench. Why re-injure it? Why make it any worse when they're heading into the playoffs? They need that all-star. Michelle?
Well, there's no question they need her, Leah. 11 of 13 last night from the floor in that Utah loss. But they know she can deliver that kind of performance. Why make the injury worse here tonight? A meaningless game. There's no question. It's a good, solid coaching move. And how about the toughness of Jemiah Walker to score over Lisa Leslie? Almost 11,000 fans at the Rose Garden tonight to see a tremendous effort by this Portland Fire team and maybe get a sense of what the future is like for Linda Hargrove and her players. Now Lisa Leslie called for the charge, and that is her 4th foul with just under 11 minutes to play. The second charge drawn here in the last 2 possessions by Portland on Los Angeles. We'll watch it here. Leslie squares up to the rim. Jemiah Walker close into her chest. In my estimation, the toughest call in basketball. Block charge. Jemiah Walker heaving it across court as she couldn't get around the defense, and it's intercepted by Stiles. Great no-look pass. Mabika can't get it to fall, but it'll stay on the center of the floor. But it's not often they have the numbers. 3-on-2 situation. They come away with nothing. Milton to inbound for Los Angeles. You just look at every aspect of Portland tonight. Trying to block the inbound passes. Everything they can possibly do, they're doing at a higher level than they've done all season, I think. Now, Linda Hargrove, certainly there's been some bright spots. Their last win coming July 24th, an impressive win here at home against New York. The last time they were 500. There are glimpses of what could be here in the future. Certainly during the course of the year, they've shown that. Sophia Witherspoon, such a solid player. You add Jackie Stiles to the roster. Carolyn Young looks like she's going to be a very nice contributor. Lisa Leslie from 3, rebounded by Burris. But they've had a lot of shots rim out of them. Lisa Leslie is all over Jemiah Walker. That has been a tremendous matchup all night. Witherspoon again, wide open, and makes LA pay. Witherspoon does a nice job moving without the basketball. And against the zone, you've got to find spots. She's doing that. 5 of 9 from 3. Witherspoon has the hot hand for the Fire. And Portland out to their largest lead, 47-41. 9:45 to play here at the Rose Garden. Well, what a night it would be for Portland to close out this season with a win over the best team in the WNBA.
All together now.
This Portland crowd definitely behind the Fire, helping them out to this 6-point lead, and it makes you wonder what could Phoenix do to Houston tonight, as it's the last regular season Phoenix game. Phoenix no shot at the playoffs, but it's Michelle's team's last game. They're coached by Cynthia Cooper, who would love to play spoiler to Houston. Houston at Phoenix. They lose the tiebreak with both Sacramento and Utah above and below them. So Houston in a kind of a precarious situation. If they tie with Utah, they fall to the 4th seed. And Utah leapfrogs them into 3rd. If they tie with Sacramento, they stay put at 3rd. Sacramento would stay in 2nd. So you'd be hard-pressed to find a professional sports organization that has endured more hardship than Houston has in the last 12 months. Cooper retiring, Swoops getting injured, and as Van Chancellor told our Pam Ward at the half, referencing Tina Thompson's injury. Now, we talked about Lisa Leslie and the runaway MVP. Well, if Houston, Tina Thompson had stayed healthy, you have to wonder would that have been a little bit closer race. You've got to get production from somebody other than Thompson and Arcano. That's been Houston's trouble all season long. Instead of a big 3, they have a terrific 2. But it does leave them a bit vulnerable. LA just 3 of 16 from the field here in the second half. And now they'll say a foul on Witherspoon. Well, the minutes distribution in this half for Michael Cooper in this game has been interesting. Against Utah last night, his bench played a total of 21 minutes. He has well exceeded that total tonight with his bench. You've already got 36 minutes played by the bench. And maybe Latasha Byers is certainly one of the most productive members of that bench. She will finish the season best in the league in field goal percentage. She has gone wire to wire in that category. 3 of 3 tonight. You've got Tamika Dixon on the bench. Nursing the plantar fasciitis, Leah B. Olsen just referenced. You almost wonder, you get the sense as this game has progressed, Michael Cooper is almost saying to himself, if we win this one, great. If we don't, it doesn't impact us. I'm not going to have any injuries. Tamika Dixon is sitting on the sideline where she should be. All season long, he's pointed to nothing but the WNBA championship. And really, this game is inconsequential. So if you win it, great. It's almost icing on the cake. That's the sense we're sort of getting here. And yes, it's not complacency. LA is still playing hard, but using different personnel. And as you said, just trying to keep themselves fresh as they await their playoff competition. They don't know yet who they're going to play in the first round. Right, excellent point. They're not playing complacent. They're playing hard. They're competing. A great offensive forward there by Jaleisha Milton. You know, they're playing hard, but they're going to win it with the personnel he's choosing to use tonight. Yeah, if it's conservative, I agree with him. He's saying, so be it. I've got to save my team for what we've been pointing toward all season long. Witherspoon turns it over. Kristen Fogle now in the game. She has replaced Aretha Burris. Mawada Mabika, a confident 3. It doesn't go in, and now a loose ball foul called on Jaleisha Milton. Number 5 on Milton. Over the back on Milton, that's 5 on the 6'1" forward out of Florida. Bevilacqua bringing it up the floor for Portland. Stiles the miss, gets the rebound. Fogle now out to a wide open Carolyn Young. And that'll go out of bounds. But credit Carolyn Young, the rookie out of Auburn. She's a rookie in spite of the fact that she's 32 years old, but her first season in the WNBA. An all-star in the ABL and a tremendous three-point shooter, which is why Hargrove acquired her. Look at the three-point shooting comparison tonight. +5, meaning plus 15 points by Portland in that category. And in spite of Mabika's early game touch, and now Figgs drawing the foul. Bevilacqua calls for the foul. At the line for Los Angeles, number 5, just a 2-point game now here at the Rose Garden, under 7 to play. Inconsequential for LA. Cleveland at Charlotte. A live chat on ESPN.com Friday at 3 Eastern. Jackie Stiles chatting. She will also be on Up Close later on in the week. She has some great childhood stories to tell. Certainly has had a great and highly eventful college career, and now her first season as a WNBA player coming to a close. The interesting thing about Stiles, maybe interesting is the wrong word, but maybe the endearing thing about her is how humble she is and she's genuine. And she says it again and again that her teammates should get the credit for all of her achievements, because without them she can't do anything that she does.
Well, I'll tell you this, Michelle, equally as impressive as her on-court performance has been the grace with which she's handled all this attention. And the fact that she has fit in chemistry-wise with this team is amazing.
Now, we asked her, does she deserve to be Rookie of the Year? We were not surprised by her answer.
No way. There are so many great rookies in this class, and I don't know if I even deserve to be up for Rookie of the Year, but with Lauren Jackson, her incredible honors, Olympian, and I know she's had a great year, and Marie Ferdinand at Utah, she's played great, so there's a lot of other rookies that are more deserving than I am.
The veterans around the league, when they hear those kinds of comments that she's made all season, it makes it a little bit easier to take that she's averaging 15+ per game.
Lisa Leslie getting her 12th point of the game on that basket. Carolyn Young to Stiles, who is as open as you can get, but misses. 1 of 8 with Stiles tonight. Let's not forget the injuries. Another turnover forced by the Fire, and Bevilacqua driving. Can't make it pay off.
Looked like pretty good contact on both ends. How about that pass?
Wow. McCrimmon to Byers, sensational look underneath. Great quick passes have been a trademark of this LA team in the open floor. Byers, 2 great catches. Now, she got stripped. I thought she took a hit, but how about the ability to come up with those balls? 10 points for Byers. She does it off the bench. She is hurting now. She's reaching for her rib cage, Latasha Byers. And LA with the lead. They have hung around. They may be just enough to take this thing. 2-point lead. And Leslie trying to extend it, cannot. Bevilacqua has been everywhere tonight, but turns it right back over to McCrimmon. Wide open is Byers, and that is money for her.
I think you need a timeout here. Certainly there's been a momentum swing, and wisely, Linda Hargrove called one.
A 4-point LA advantage, 5:03 to play.
Well, Latasha Byers' acquisition has been a monumental part of Los Angeles' dominance and her ability to catch tough passes. That one, a great on-the-string pass by McCrimmon, and she makes use of it.
She makes use of so many opportunities, which is why she leads the league in field goal percentage. As we look at the Bud Light shooting champions, Latasha Byers has led it wire to wire. And in the free throw percentage category, same thing. Elena Baranova has been on top of that list all along. And at the end of this season, the WNBA players with the best field goal percentage and free throw percentage will share $25,000, a portion of which will be donated to each of the players' local charity of choice. So it looks like that check will be split between Baranova and Byers.
I'm not sure there was a better off-season move. Los Angeles acquiring Byers and Sacramento getting Lakeisha Frett in exchange. Byers' numbers in Sacramento last season were the lowest of her career. It was time for a change for both the organization and Latasha. Michael Cooper remembered the damage, and he was an assistant coach that Byers had done when she was a member of the Monarchs. That's the kind of presence inside I need. She's fearless, and there were questions about whether she'd fit in. She has been a perfect blend.
I was surprised to see Sacramento let a commodity like Byers get away. Focal another rebound, and Portland adept at passing it around. Young now working her way in, creating her own shot, and Carolyn Young shot 8. Portland keeping this one close. They trailed by as many as 7. Well, that was their first field goal in over 5 minutes after LA had taken charge of this game. Lisa Leslie largely responsible. Rhonda Mapp making a rare appearance in the game, coming up with the rebound.
Now, there is another offseason acquisition, and where Byer steps away, you can back her up with a big body again at Rhonda Mapp.
Nikki McCrimmon getting a lot of the playing time with Tamika Dixon on the bench. Mapp, another rebound, a putback, and she'll head to the line. Rhonda Mapp, an 82% free throw shooter. And again, a person with a great deal of playoff experience when she was with Charlotte.
You could say that Lisa Leslie has struggled, and that certainly has been the case shooting. But I want you to watch something. Stop it, guys, if you can. There's 1, 2, 3 people, and there's going to be a 4th one, I'm pretty sure, coming in. Now watch. She misses, but there's 3 white jerseys, so what does that open up? If she misses shots, no question. But you get the offensive rebound because you've got all those defenders paying so much attention to Lisa Leslie.
It's a great point, and Mapp made the most of her opportunity and completes the 3-point play.
Now think about this, what they've done in this half. They've isolated Lisa on the right block, and they've gone all post-up moves. Now they also spread her out on the wing, so you get a lot of different looks if you're defending Lisa Leslie.
Young looks inside to Burris, who finds Crawley, and Crawley, unencumbered, makes the shot. 6 points now for Sylvia Crawley. Just under 3:40 to go. Portland down 3. They've led by as many as 6. And have given LA all they can handle. Mabika liking that spot. Misses there. She is fouled. When we come back, Pam Ward will update you on that New York game, having a major impact on the Eastern Conference playoffs. Back in a moment. That, I'm sure, will not happen. Here in Portland, LA getting many more free throw opportunities than the Portland Fire. And Mwati Mabika at the line, making Michael Cooper a little bit more comfortable in extending this lead. LA trailed 47-41 with about 9:45 to go. They took a timeout, and then the Sparks simply elevated their play, particularly defensively. They held the Fire to 5 points in the last 6 minutes, 15 seconds, and have now taken this 58-52 lead.
Yeah, that goes back to what Linda Hargrove has talked about all season. Defensively, look at what they've done. Their leading scoring team in the WNBA, 58 points, but offensively, they've struggled.
Bevilacqua says, struggle, what struggle? I've hit 2 3-pointers, I've got 6 points, and I just cut the lead to 3. Just over 3 minutes to go. And what fun it is to watch a team as energetic and motivated and inspired as this Portland team has been tonight. Great look from Mwati Mabika to Rhonda Mapp.
Just a great pass and an excellent read by Mapp to go backdoor. The 1, 2, and 3 spots for LA, excellent passers.
Carolyn Young the miss, and Mabika, who is skilled on so many levels, after the assist comes up with the defensive board.
Yeah, you're right. Mabika's a great athlete, one of the best in the league, and her basketball skills have come around each season.
18 points, 5 rebounds tonight from Mwati Mabika.
Well, think about this. The 1, 2, and 3, they get almost a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's as good as you can ask.
Byers tried to save it for LA. They'll say she touched it last, and it's Portland ball. And with the dead ball, Sophia Witherspoon will come in for Carolyn Young. And Delisha Milton, in spite of the 5 fouls, will come in.
This would be a technical foul. You got 6 players on the court here by LA.
Exactly. That substitution for Mapp took too long. And Portland had inbounded the ball, and I think, are they going to say that's the ref's mistake?
I guess they are.
The ref's mistake. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
6 players.
Mapp saying she wasn't sure the substitution was for her, as Sally Bell was trying to gather the other officials' attention.
Crowd chanting, beat LA. Seems to be a favorite chant in any NBA or WNBA arena, and Burris says, I'll try.
you get great post position and good things are going to happen. She steps up and takes the contact from Byers to reach his left. That's why they say do your work early in the post, because Forrest, as physically strong as she is just going to put it up and hope the kiss off the backboard works, and it does. Doesn't work on the free throw attempt, but we said she's a terrific counter to Latasha Byers, and she just forced Byers into her 5th foul. So Byers and Milton both on the floor with 5 fouls. 1:41 to play. Los Angeles holding on to a slim 3-point lead, and now Sylvia Crawley says, yeah, I did. I reached in. I committed that foul. They have almost gone exclusively to Lisa Leslie here in the second half. You know, the pass out and the entry pass. Coming up next, baseball tonight. We're going to look at wild card races, certainly heating up. Well, she missed a couple of free throws last night when it was clutch time. Doesn't do it here. And Lisa Leslie, another double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds, and she's done it rather quietly tonight. Burris loses this one to Figgs. Hard Figgs, who in her rookie season really did look like a rookie, but looks anything like it now. Yeah, her maturation process has been a huge part of this team. Missing the shot, Witherspoon the rebound. Sophia Witherspoon has been quite a catalyst for Portland tonight. Picking up the scoring slack. Stiles has not been able to provide much. Stiles will go to the line again. That's 6 on Byers. Foul is on Byers, yes, and that's 6. So she'll go to the bench with 12 points. And Rhonda Mapp comes back in to replace her. But Byers is going to be a huge factor in the playoffs. 5 of 7 from the floor tonight, 12 points. She does countless things. She is an efficient scorer, a tremendous rebounder, a great defender. And as you said, quite possibly the best off-season acquisition any team has made. And no wonder she leads the league in field goal percentage. She just gets space and gets nice, easy shots. Hates the fact that she's fouled out. Stiles draws Portland closer, under a minute to play here now. A 4-point Portland deficit. And LA just hoping not to lose back-to-back games as they close out this regular season and head into the playoffs. Home court advantage awaits Los Angeles throughout the playoffs. They have lost just 4 times all season. Oh, big time. And Milwaukee Mabika wants to make sure there's no 5th loss here in the regular season, hitting a huge 3. So she's taken a couple of questionable shots, but that one straight up on the money off the pick and roll. 21 now for Milwaukee Mabika, who averages about 11 a game. And she is our Buick player of the game. And Buick will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation on behalf of Milwaukee Mabika. Buick, it's all good. And it's been pretty darn good for Mabika tonight. Coming back to close it up, we still got a ball game here in Portland. Stick around. These are 25.3 seconds to go. And coming up, starting on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, the WNBA 2001 playoff preview on ESPN2. Then Thursday at 8 and 10 Eastern, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference playoffs, the first round, and again on ESPN2. They move to ESPN on Friday at 7 and 9 Eastern, with the other 2 series tipping off on Friday. We know in the East now that Miami and New York will face off, with New York having home court advantage. Cleveland will have home court advantage in its first round series with Charlotte, a very dangerous Charlotte team that handed Miami its loss tonight. Jackie Stiles. And trying to save it is Portland, and they end up with a jump ball as Vanessa Nygaard is on the floor.
Shaquille O'Neal was asked recently about these LA Sparks. He is a big fan of the WNBA. He said, look, about this team, they've got to stay hungry. I know what that's like. Being so close with Orlando, then having to wait 4 years before he went to LA, winning back-to-back championships with the Lakers, and he has said the Sparks have got the players, they've got the heart, they've got the fire. And ironically, they may have the fire tonight. And Rhonda Mapp makes sure that they do. Well, an impressive, scrappy win, Michelle. You run at your best, but you still won it. Our final score, LA 67, Portland 58. WNBA coverage continues Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2 with the 2001 playoff preview. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Now let's join Pam Ward in our ESPN studio.
Hey guys, my name is Kayla Padilla. I'm a sophomore guard at the University of Pennsylvania. Been training with HomeCourtEdge for almost 10 years now. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us on all of HC's social media channels, and stay tuned for our journey.